Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the part 4 of the video tutorial series on how you can make a DBMS mini project. In the previous videos we had seen how you can design this login form. In this video I'm going to show you how you can add functionality to this login button. So I'll just show you a demo first. If you're going to type the correct username and the correct password, it's going to say you that the login is successful. And if you're going to either change the username or the password, it's going to say you that your credentials entered is wrong. So without wasting much time, let's get into the video and see how to make this happen. So this is the login form that we have designed in the previous videos. So if you guys have not checked that out, I highly recommend you to check it out first. In this video, we're going to add some functionality to this login button. As of now, if I'm going to start this app, you can see that we have got the login form here. We have got text fields, we have got password fields, but if I click on this login button, nothing much is happening because we haven't programmed it. So in this video, we will be programming our login button. Alright, so how do you do that? First thing you need to understand all these things, that is taking up the password, taking the username and checking it out with the correct username and password. All of that happens when you press the login button. So the code that you're going to write has to be inside the login button, or it has to be the event that has to be occurred when the login button is being pressed. How do you access the code for that? It's very simple. Select the login button and double click on that. That will directly take you to this page where you can write the program, or inside this function you see. This is where you're going to write the code, whatever has to happen when that button is pressed. Now if you can see this page, it's called as form1.cs, and here it's called form1.cs and design. Why is it called form1? Because this entire form here, the name of it is form1. Okay, you can change it if you want, but I'm going to leave it as form1 as of now. And this is the entire program for this form, the complete form, the logical program I mean. And this function that you see here, private void button one click, this is the function that is going to be executed if this button here is being pressed. Alright, so let's get started. First we need two variables to store the actual username and password. Alright, so let us take two string variables, string uname, and uname means I'm call it as username, then password, upass. Alright, and these two variables are going to store the actual variable, I mean the actual username and the actual password, and we are going to take two other variables which is going to store the value that is being entered by the user and the password that is being entered by the user. So I'm going to take it as just name and password. Okay, so I hope that's easy to understand. Now I'm going to assume that the username is 1, the actual username is 1, and the actual password is also 1. Why am I putting the double quotes? Because it's a string variable. For string variable you have to put double quotes. Alright, now the variable name and password, that is name and pass, that has to store the value that is being entered inside these two text fields respectively. So first what I do is I'll take this name variable, I'm going to take name equals, then I'm going to go for this text field, because we need the value of this text field to be stored in that. No, so first we look at the name of that text field, that's called as text box 1. So what do I do here? I go to this place, I type text box 1, that's there, dot text, that's it. So what this line of code will do means, it will take the data that the user has entered inside this text field and it will store that data into the variable called as name. And again I'll take the next variable, that's pass. Okay, pass is equal to the name of the second text field is text box 2. So I'm going to take it as text box 2, that's here, dot text. Again the same thing. What this particular line of code does is it will see whatever the user has typed inside this password, it will store that value inside pass. Okay, good. Now we need to see if the name, which is the name entered by the user, is equal to the actual username, and if the password entered by the user is the actual password. If both are matching, it means that we can log in. If they are not matching, even if one is not matching, it means that the login is failed. So how do you do that? We'll go for an if statement. Alright, So if we'll take the first thing, that is uname, or we'll take the name, okay, name dot equals equals uname. Perfect. What does this do means it'll take the name is this variable here, and it will see if it is equal to the uname, which is the actual username, and you also have to check about the password. I'll tell you why I'm using the AND operation, because both username and password has to be equal. So only if both are perfectly matching we can log in. So we are going to use the AND operation, and then we have here pass. Okay, so that's pass dot equals password, that is upass, right? Upass. So if these two conditions are satisfied, we can log in. And this is how you do comments in C#. It is same like Java. You put 2 backslashes and that's your comment. Alright. And if at all this condition is not true, the criteria which I have given, if this is not true, we have to make sure that the login is failed. So that's going to be in the else part of the code. Else I'm going to comment it as don't login, because the username and password is wrong. Good. So in this video I'm not going to go too much into the details of the code. So what I'm going to do is, if the login is correct, I'll just show a message saying that the login is correct. Okay, so that is message box dot show login correct. I'll tell you what is message box. Just hold on. Login success. All right. So let's just run this and see right now how it is. Here we have got, I'm going to take username as 1 and the password is 1, and when I hit the login button, I got a message saying that login is success. This thing here, right, this particular window here, this one, this is called as the message box. You need the message box in order to show some warning messages, or whenever you have to show some kind of message to the user, that's when you use the message box. Then the name itself is self-explanatory what message box does. Good. So now what if the login is not failed? You can see that here we have made a label, right? So what I want to do is, if the login is not correct, I don't want it to show in a message box. I want it to show this label. So if you can see in the previous video, I had made a label and I think I'd called it as error message or something. I'd called it. Okay, I've changed the name for that message. And how did I do that? I selected that label, I went down into the text part and I changed the text as credentials entered as wrong. Good. So I did one more thing. I have made sure that this label is not enabled. Now that property is here. It's called as enabled. Alright. I've selected this and I'll make sure that the enabled property is false. So now when I run the program, that label is not there. But if the login is failed, only if the login is failed I have to show this. If the login is correct, I don't have to show this. So what do? I go to the else part, and here I have to make sure that when the program control comes to the else part, I have to show that label. And how do I show that? It's very simple. I say I need to know the name of the label, that is label 4, and then I go to the code part. I'll tell label 4, that's here, dot show. No, okay, show is a function, so I have to put the braces. Good. So now I'm going to run the program. I'll type some random username, I'll type some random password, and then I press login. It's showing me that the credentials entered is wrong. That's exactly what I wanted. And whenever I'm going to type the correct username and password, that is 1 and 1, 1, it is showing me that the login is success. So this is basically how you make programming inside Visual Studio. This is the C# part of it. If you guys don't see this here, you don't have to worry. You can just double click on that button and it will take you to that part of the code. So if you want to change the name of the form, you can just go to the property called as name, that's right here, name, and you have to change the name. That will do it. But as of now I'm going to keep it as just form 1. Good. And Another one thing, if you can see right now when I'm starting this, I typed the wrong username and I'm typing the wrong password, and if I'm going to give it as login, it's saying me that the credential is wrong. But now if I'm going to type the correct username and the correct password, it has to not show me this, right? So how do I do that? I go to the code part of it, and in the if method, before you show that the login is success, I will hide this label. It's like when you show the label, the people can see it, and you also have a property to hide it. When you hide it, the people, the user can't see it. So I'm going to call it as label 4 dot hide. Okay, there is no hide. Yeah, there is hide. It's called hide. I'm sorry for that. It's just a typo. So that's label 4 dot hide. So now if I'm going to run the program, you can see that I'm typing the wrong username and the wrong password. It's showing me the error, and now I'll type the correct username and the correct password, and yeah, that's gone. It's showing me that the login is success. So this is how you write the basic program for in C#. If you can observe it, it's almost same like Java. You don't have to worry about all this automatically created code. Try not to modify it, because if you modify it, your system will go unstable. You should only program the things that you have to program. That's like in case of buttons. And in general, if you see, the programming is almost same like Java, only some small differences, like in Java you use import, here you use using, and you can have, it's called a namespace. In Java you call it as a package, I believe. Here you have classes. Even in Java you have classes. It's almost the same, all right? So if you know Java programming, this shouldn't be a problem. And if you know C#, Java is also very easy. It works vice versa. In the next video, I'll show you guys about the database architecture that I'm planning to use, and how the different tables will be there, how they'll be related to each other. I'll show you all that, and then we'll go on into creating the actual database and linking it to the present software, whatever we have made so far. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this video, hit the like button below this, and if you've not subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe it and share this with maximum people so that everybody can find it useful. Thank you guys and have a great time. See you in the next video.